Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to take a high-level look at Control Hub. Control Hub is where you provision pretty much everything Webex Cloud from a Cisco perspective. I'm going to take a high-level look at it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to have more videos coming on Control Hub in the near future. With that being said, let's dive into it.
I'll assume you can get logged into the Control Hub, but what you'll see when you log in is something like this. There is an overview panel here that gives you just a high-level view of your environment, of the current state of your environment, number of users, number of room devices, the meetings usage that's allocated, licensing allocation, that type of thing. There's also some notifications on the side here that allow you to see, kind of current state, new features, those types of things. So for instance, new feature, name labels allow meeting participants to easily put names to faces. I'm actually going to talk about the name labels in a different video, but this just gives you an idea of the landing page. What does it look like when I get started with Control Hub? From here, we can drill deeper and check out different aspects of our environment. So what I'll do is I'll actually go down the left-hand side here. This is kind of the control panel, if you will. So overview is where we start. We have a users panel. Now this is just a sample demo environment. As you can see here, we have 82 users. We have 52 that are administrators. You can scroll through and see who they are. If you need to edit one of these users, you can simply select that individual and see their information here. You can see what services they have enabled, so messaging, meeting, and calling. Do they have the hybrid calendaring service? All this different stuff, you can go in and configure it here as well. If they're an administrator, you configure those roles. You can add a device for the user here. So if they're using Webex calling, or maybe you want to assign a video device, you can do that from here as well. And you can actually lock device settings on the touch devices to prevent some configuration. You can see the name labels have not yet been enabled, and there's calling behavior. You can actually open these up and see more details. So calling behavior, for instance. So lots of settings here on a per user basis, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. When you're done, click the X to close out of it. Now we have other entities in Control Hub as well. The first is users. The next is places. Here you can see different places that are configured, and these would be conference rooms or public space areas. You can assign both phones or video devices. Typically it'll be video devices, but certainly phones are a possibility as well for a common space phone. So here we have a reception room kit mini. We can launch or look into this space from here as well. Simply click and it will expand it. You can see the services that are enabled. You can edit the name. You can see the device that's assigned. You can assign multiple devices to a space when you're using companion mode. So something to be aware of there. Of course, you can lock out the settings, and there's some API access settings as well. If we want to edit the device or configure the device, we can click here under Devices on the name of the device. When the device panel opens up, you'll see kind of a status report. It is online, but it has issues. The issues are reported. So signal interference from other devices, ultrasound signal. So that is a proximity feature. Likewise, there's a proximity pairing notification here. 99 times out of 100, this is because there is another device in the physical room with it, and the ultrasound frequencies or the ultrasound signals from those devices are interfering. You can configure alerts, there's some reporting and so forth. We see the details of the device, and then there's actually advanced configuration here as well. Let's close that out. The devices tab, let me skip services for a second. If I skip devices or skip and go to devices, you can see devices right here. If we click on a device, takes us right back to that space or to that configuration for that device. So something to be aware of there. From right here, you can add a device. Typically, my workflow is to create a user or a space and then add a device that way. You can certainly do it here as well. Jumping back to services, here you can see a list of different services. I'm not going to go into each one specifically, but I will talk about what they do at a high level. So messaging, this is your Webex Teams configuration. You can dive into here to configure more specifics for that. Meetings, this is Webex meetings. So sites, you can go in there, choose your Webex site, and then go to the site admin for that environment. If you're familiar with Webex from days gone by, this will take you to something that looks a little bit more familiar for that in-depth Webex site admin functionality. Calling, here you can provision numbers, service settings, and client settings. So numbers would be DIDs and extension mapping. Service settings would be things general to the service, 911 configuration and those types of things. Calling features. Care would be the contact center light type features and functionalities that are in here or that are in Control Hub. So be sure to check that out. If we scroll down, we can see hybrid services. So an on-prem bridging resource that is that hybrid mesh node. You can configure some of that here. There are specifics for the video mesh node, so you can view resources and edit services. It does give you a quick look as to the operational state. There's some service monitoring functionality, and then there are additional functions down here for inactive hybrid services, so things that aren't yet provisioned. An example would be the hybrid calendar connector. So if you wanted to integrate calendaring with an Exchange or an Office 365 or Google environment, you can certainly do that. Even a hybrid calendar that brings that on-premise and cloud world together, configure right here. Hybrid context for customer care data. Hybrid message, so if you have kind of that hybrid messaging environment, you can configure some of that here. Serviceability setup, again, more options. Hybrid data security, you can configure here as well. We did cover devices. I won't go into great depth, but I will just point out the Analytics tab. Let's open that up. It does take a little while to open up, but the Analytics tab is going to give you kind of that high-level overview of your environment, as well as allow you to drill in deeper. Now, the landing page is typically going to take you to meetings. We also have analytics on messaging, calling, care, devices, video mesh, and then there are some reports as well that allow you to get that data out of the system. Like I said, I do have another video on this. Once it's available, I'll put the link in the video description. But yeah, this is analytics. It starts at a high level and allows you to drill in deeper. You can look at engagement, quality, audio, and a number of different other resources as well. More of an executive reporting type of functionality. If you're looking more for a technical reporting and a troubleshooting set of reports, there is the troubleshooting tab. On the troubleshooting tab, you have the option to search for an email address, a meeting ID, or a conference ID. I do have a conference ID here we can try. Once you have that search executed, you can then see the meetings by that meeting number. You can see who it is, who hosted it, duration, so on and so forth. If you open one of those up, you get some more in-depth analysis of that meeting, right? Was it a video meeting? Was it an audio meeting? What was the experience? There's a ton of detail on this. Again, I have another video coming on this shortly. The settings tab, last but not least, gives you a lot of global settings that can be used to influence your environment. So for instance, security, idle timeouts, external communications, so on and so forth. Here's the name label setting. There's some privacy settings, domains, SIP address for video calling, just a number of global settings that you can configure here. Support information and some retention policies. So be sure to check this out. This is, again, just a high-level overview of Control Hub. If you have questions, comments, or anything you'd like to add to this brief overview, leave it in the video description below or in the video comments section below. Again, I do have some other videos going into more depth on the Control Hub. With that being said, though, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.